And you said it's a long process, so it's a form of artistry. So you personally, how do you approach it when a client comes to you? What are the first things you do? And are there things you tell them not to do beforehand?
Yes. Okay, the first thing I do, I assess the face of the client, the shape. People have different shapes. There are oval shapes, pear shape, triangle. You find a client has a thin face, so you assess the face of the shape, the shape of the face. And after you assess the shape, you look at the shape of the eyebrows. Kuna wenye wako na a low arc, some have very high arcs. So ukishaangalia hizo vitu, you can be able to even explain to your client. Kama yeye alikuwa anataka some very fat eyebrows, and then she has very thin. Unaona utamwambia like, if I give you fat eyebrows, it will distort the shape of your face. So you assess the face first, you look, and then as you assessing, you also explaining to the client, hey, your face is pear shaped. Your eyebrows are thin. So if you do this service and they give you very broad brows, I'll change the way. Remember, you want to keep that natural appearance of the brows. So you have to explain these things, you assess before you start anything. Then after assessing, you map. You have rulers. You map to make sure that the shape is consistent on both brows. Remember, they are not supposed to be twins, but they're supposed to be sisters. You can't be that perfect and you're going to achieve a twin look, but they're supposed to kind of look very much alike. Usikae ni kama uso yako it's more balanced. Yes.
Okay. And before we get to the things that the client does before, you know, the process of microshading or microblading, what exactly do you do when you said sometimes you have a difference of opinion with the client, but at the end of the day, especially in your industry, the customer is always right. You know, you're like, maybe anajijua, maybe they really know what works for their face. Maybe you and your years of training, it's nothing. So now, how do you reconcile those differences of opinions in a way that's suitable for both? Do you sometimes say, you know what, if you've insisted so much, let's do this for you?
So what we do, if a client, kuna wale clients enyewe vichwa ngumu, they are always right enyewe. So what you do as the service provider, one thing, you know, remember, we always keep our mind realizing that this is a semi-permanent procedure. So if you mess, you can't correct it.
True.
So what we do, we start with a thin. Kama client anataka kitu nono, hautanaonesha to the size she wants first. Because if you've assessed her and you've seen that her brows are not meant to be that thick, but she's insisting, nataka bush, nataka kitu nono. So what you'll do, you'll start with a thin, yes, not natika line, but something substantial for her. If she does not approve it, utendo ukiongezea. But you can't correct it once it's done. It's very hard to go back to the original. So you start small, you go growing it slowly until she's satisfied.
Okay.
Yes.
That's one way to do it. So now, talking about the things you prep before on the clients, and what are the things they're not supposed to eat or consume, or how exactly do you tell them after they make an appointment? What things do they do in preparedness for the process?
There's not much to prepare for.
Even drinking coffee because of stimulation. We have heard all of this.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yes, because of bleeding. You might overbleed during the service. Alcohol is the only thing we actually tell people not to consume. But the aftercare is where now things are.
Yes, aftercare.
Yes.
That's the bigger brunt of work for the client.
Yes, because remember, this is like a wound. You have tampered, you have opened the pores, number one, with your scratching of the skin, and then you're gonna wanna wash your face. This is a wound na ikona ink. What happens if ink interacts with water? It scabs. And remember, it's on your face.